Welcome to my next video. Today, really important lesson. I'm going to talk about the secrets you need to know to pass the PET preliminary exam. Now let's kick off with the first one, absolutely essential. You're probably wondering, what is this? But I'm just going to say, you don't get miracles in the exam. Nothing comes by a miracle. So with that in mind, what you need before you pass the exam is a comprehensive knowledge of B1 grammar. Have a look on the screen. You can see all the B1 grammar points that you must know inside out, to know something inside out. I'll explain that at the end of this video. Stay with me. Now, you also need B1 vocabulary. You need a good knowledge of B1 vocabulary. There are a lot of words, but any good B1 book will include those. So before you start the exam, before you sign up for the exam, you've got to have that B1 grammar in there, the B1 vocabulary in there so that you're ready. Now this video focuses on the reading part of the exam and the secrets for that. But I love the speaking and the writing as well. I'm a speaking examiner, a writing examiner, and I haven't asked my boss this. He's told me to do a video about the reading, but I've got a few little language points. I'm going to break the rules, a few lovely little language points that will help you pass the speaking and the writing, which I'll show you at the end of the lesson. That's my little bonus, and I'm going off piste here. I'm going off track, away from what I'm supposed to do, just for you guys. So watch to the end of the video and you'll get that little bonus, okay? Now here, I've got a lovely little example of why both grammar and vocabulary are important. If we look at question 24 of this part of the reading, it's multiple choice. We've got to put one of the words in the gap, and we've got allowed, let, ruled, and agreed. Now, firstly, let's talk a bit about vocabulary. You allow someone to do something. So allow always goes with an object and it is always followed by to. You let someone do something. Let is followed by an object and then the infinitive without to. And then we've got ruled, which is just a verb on its own, and agreed. You agree on something or you agree to do something. Now, that's a bit of the use of the preposition with the verb. We've also got the meaning of these words where the vocabulary comes in. Let and allow are very similar. It's give permission, whereas ruled means you make a decision, and agree is that you say yes to do something, or you say yes that you have the same opinion about something. So looking at this text, we've got to apply vocabulary and grammar to get it right. So we've got our gap. Let's read it before and after. This is a mixture of waste chocolate and vegetable oil, and such biofuels are not in the sport yet. Right, we've got allowed, let, and ruled. Ruled doesn't really work here. Ruled is make a decision. Agreed is when two people share the same opinion. That doesn't work. So that leaves us with allowed and let. And this is where the grammar comes in. Okay, you can use allowed as a passive, but you wouldn't really use let as a passive. And let is one person giving permission to another, whereas allow can be a group giving the permission of the use of something. So the answer here must be allowed. And you can see why I eliminated that based on both grammar and vocabulary. So grammar and vocab at B1, absolutely key. Have them down before you sign up for the exam. Next secret. I'm going to use an acronym to help you remember here. I'm going to look at part 5 again, which is quite representative of many of the questions in the PET reading. And my acronym is CCG. Remember that, especially for part 5, CCG. Context, collocation, and grammar. Context, collocation, and grammar. Let's take a look and put this into practice. So we can have a look at the first question here. We've got our gap. We've got 4 possibilities: collected, saved, stored, or kept. This is all about context and your knowledge of vocabulary. After having their money for years, the Clark family were finally in a position to see their dream come true. Collected their money, saved their money, stored their money, or kept their money. Stored and kept mean that you look after something in a place. It's related to storing or storage or keeping something in a place. Then we have collect, which means going to different places and gathering up something. Collecting money, you would go to different places and collect the money. Then we have the word save, which means build up an amount of money for a future plan. So if you've got that knowledge of vocabulary, what are they doing, this family? We can see they've got a dream, they've got a future plan. So they're saving money. And that's where the knowledge of context and vocab comes in. So number 1B, saved. Next up, we've got C for collocations. Now let's have a look at a new reading, part 5 again. Question 3 here, you can see you've got the options of, for, by, and in. Now, if we read before, evil spirits were thought to be responsible, bad weather and disease. This is based on your knowledge of collocations. It's responsible for. Why? Responsible and for always go together. They are a collocation. They collocate together. So you need to have that knowledge of collocations, which is very much related to vocabulary at B1 level. And last, but by no means least, we've got the G for grammar. I'm going to have a look at 5 of the same reading here. We've got many, lots, plenty, and much here. This is based on your knowledge of grammar. These are adverbs or adjectives, and they describe quantity, but they've got different uses. Many is for plural countables. Many cars, many people. Lots we can also use for plural countables, okay, or uncountables, lots of people, lots of beer. Plenty is used just before of, plenty of people, plenty of rice. This can be used for countables, uncountables, and much is used only for uncountables. I don't have much money. Now, many and much can be used as nouns, as the subjects or objects in a sentence as well, whereas lots and plenty cannot. This is all dependent on your knowledge of that grammar. So let's have a look. Let's read it. Even today, when people know the scientific explanations for such things as thunder or the eruption of volcanoes, look to religion to explain some of the hard to understand things. Well, looking at the before and the after, we're referring back to people here, which is plural and countable. Now we know lots goes with lots of, and plenty goes with of as well. Much is only for uncountables, whereas many is for countables. So our only option is many. And that is dependent on your knowledge of grammar. So you can see there is no way past not knowing the grammar and the vocab. You have to have them down if you want to pass the PET exam. Take all the time you need before you sign up. For my next secret, continuing with the topic of grammar, I'm going to look at part 6 of the reading. Everybody hates this, or everybody I talk to hates this, because you have to put a word in that you have to think of. And a lot of people tell me, oh, I've got no imagination. I can't imagine what kind of word it could be. But it's not as complicated as that. And there are only certain types of words that can go in the gap. What is a grammar word? A grammar word is a word that conveys or transmits a grammatical meaning, a specific meaning. So let's have a look at the page. Firstly, beginning, we've got modal verbs. Will, future predictions or promises. Must, obligation. Should, recommendation. Conditional uses, if, We use if as part of a conditional clause. All prepositions, by, with, from, about, to. Also, prepositions included in phrasal verbs and collocations. I'm interested in. I'm responsible for this. I want to give up smoking. All the prepositions there are grammar words. Time adverbs, for 10 years, since December. Place adverbs, here, there, everywhere. Superlative or comparatives, more, less, the most, the least. But remember, it must only be one word, yes, for this part 6. Articles, the, some, a, an. Pronouns, possessive adjectives, these are all grammar words. Right, here's a little challenge to put you to the test. On this page, we've got a load of words. Some are grammar words, they have that grammatical function, and some are not grammar words. Let's have a look. Will. This is a grammar word. It implies future, promise, prediction, a decision. Have. This is a grammar word. We can use this as part of the present perfect. I have studied. Or we can use it to mean obligation. I have to go. Speak. This is not a grammar word. This is a separate verb with its own meaning. James. Also not a grammar word. This is the name of somebody. The name of people, the name of places, the names of activities. These are not grammar words. Fun. The same. Fun is a sense or a sense of enjoyment. That is not a grammar word. Down is a grammar word. It's a preposition. We can use it in phrasal verbs too. Put the book down, okay? Or I want to cut down on eating chocolate. Skiing, that's an activity. That is not a grammar word. Must, I mentioned that. That means obligation and it is a grammar word. About is a preposition. This could be part of a phrasal verb again, or it could be used on its own. I want to talk about this topic. So that is a grammar word. Up, again, preposition. Most, yes, part of a superlative. Happy is not a grammar word. This is an adjective which describes people's feelings. If is a grammar word. We use it for conditionals. To, a preposition, or also part of the infinitive. I want to go. And of course, for, we can use as an adverb. For 10 years, or this book is for you as an adverb. All right. So we have our grammar words and our non-grammar words, and only our grammar words can be used for this part 6. So that does help you a little bit. Now, following on from that, something absolutely essential when you're doing these questions in the PET reading is to always look before and after the gap. Many of the questions have a gap. You have to put in a word, a paragraph, or you have to choose between 4 words. So it's obvious that you need to look before and after to give you a global picture. Let's look at this part 6. This is the case where you have to use a grammar word and you have to think of it like we just talked about. Let's look at the before and the after. Let's read it. Is there a great skate park in your town? We've now got the fantastic skate park ever. So we've got the before 27 and we've got ever. Now, if you know your grammar, you will know that that goes with a superlative. So we've got the adjective fantastic, which has 1, 2, 3 syllables, fantastic. So our superlative here in this case is the most fantastic skate park ever. How do we know that? We analyze the before and the after. My last secret of the day, before I give you my bonus language points, is the answer sheet. Now, a lot of people like to write all over the sheet, label the sheet, the question sheet, which is fantastic. It helps your brain collect your ideas. You can see what you've underlined. That is very useful. But obviously, you have to transfer what you've got from the question sheet to your answer sheet, which looks like this. Now, you need a black HB pencil and you shade the answers in. Now, my recommendation is that you do this while you're doing the exam, so that then you don't run out of time at the end, because you only get marked on what you write on the mark sheet. So that is essential. And for part 6, you will have to write your answers. So write in capitals, write nice and clearly. If, like me, you've got bad handwriting, you have to try to make the effort to make everything nice and clear. Because if the examiner cannot read what you've written, they cannot give you the right mark, or they may not be able to. They have to guess, and they may guess wrong. So write nice and clearly for that part 6. I said I would go off piste and give you a few tips for the speaking and the writing. I don't know if I'm going to get in trouble with my boss, but this will be useful for you. So if it is, I'm happy. Let's have a look at these phrases. I've mentioned collocation and how some words go together with prepositions. Here are a few nice ones. I'm mad about football. In other words, I love football. I'm mad about football. I'm mad about Arsenal. I'm mad about Atletico Madrid, my favourite teams. I'm excited about this weekend. I'm going to go to the beach, go surfing, hopefully catch some waves. So I'm excited about this weekend. I can't wait for the next trip to the coast. We're going to go to the south coast of Spain, spend a week there, hopefully catch some waves, enjoy some food. So I cannot wait for this trip. And the last one, the best one and the most useful one for me is I'm looking forward to seeing you. Now, this is not literally looking forward. This means that I am excited about seeing you in the future. And you will see that after looking forward to, we're using the ing. This phrase is really useful for your writing. So remember that. Now that's me going off piste a little bit with some useful collocations, either for your speaking and your writing. So go forward and make use of them. Thank you for joining me with this video, The Essential Secrets for the Reading Exam. I hope it's been useful and I hope you've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed making it. If it was useful, sign up, give the video a like, set your notifications, and keep your eyes peeled for the next video and my next class, which is every Wednesday at 6 o'clock Central European Time. See you soon, guys.